Good morning. So my food for thought for today is early morning. So good morning, yeah. Like I said again. But I woke up with this in my head this morning because I woke up with this song in my head. Literally woke up with this song in my head. I wasn't even awake. I was half asleep and awake at the same. Like I was asleep and this song was in my head, and it's a song by Johnny Gill called "There You Go." It's funny because I didn't know what the name of the song was, and I was like, I just know I remember his voice and some of the words, and I don't even know the song well, but the song was literally in my head. And I finally was able to wake up a little bit, singing in my head. And I was like, it was like two songs kind of mixed in together. And I put his name in, and the song came up, and I was listening to it. I'm like, okay, there you go. I'm like, something going on. It's just trying to tell me something or something, but somebody thinking about me or something. For me to wake up, literally still sleeping, it was in my head. So I was like, okay. But it made me think about a conversation I kind of had with my sister yesterday, and we kind of text conversation. And I was texting her, and we was talking about, I was inviting her to a party for my husband because his birthday's today. Happy birthday, Frankie. And I was inviting her to the party, and I was like, come and bring a date. And I remember her saying he died, and I was like, what? He died? And she was like, yes, another one. So yeah. So within a year, I guess a year, maybe half, maybe a year, she's lost two people she's been dating or talking to. I don't know if it was serious dating. And I was like, and it doesn't matter how. But I remember, I was like, wow, that's crazy. I don't even know what to say. I was lost for words for that. I'm like, wow. And I remember her saying, she texted me, she said, I don't know if I'm bad luck or if God trying to protect me from something. And I remember writing her back saying, I hope God ain't killing people off for you, but I don't think it's bad luck either. And then what I told her, I said, what it is he's talking to you and trying to teach you something. He's talking to you, but you ain't listening. And it's funny because even when I told her that, she was just like, I'm like, you need to just not, how about you not date for a while? Just be with yourself, date God, be with God. Spend some quiet time to get to know yourself. Spend quiet time. Listen, he talking, you ain't listening. And she was just like, oh, I'm not really talking to no, we just have conversations, I'm not really dating. And she just didn't get what I was trying to say. And basically I was trying to tell her, he's talking. I said again, he's talking, but you ain't listening. And this brings me to this, because she didn't even I don't think she still understood what I was saying. And I think a lot of people like this. And my sister is a person who, she's religious, she grew up religious like me, and still go to church. And I thought about this. I'm like, it's funny how people, and not just church people, but I'm going to talk about religious people now. Religious people. We always going to church. We praying. We praising God. We shouting. We singing songs. We listening to songs. We reading the Bible. But how often we sit quiet and listen? We ask God for all these things that we want, what we need. God, help me get out of this. What you trying to tell me? What's the lesson? But how often do you sit quiet and listen? I mean, I'm serious. Not listen to no song, not praying, not asking for nothing, not being on your phone, not working, not going somewhere, not hanging with your friends, not being with your family. I mean, sitting quiet. And I ain't talking about for 2 minutes. But you can even start with 2 minutes. But how often you sit quiet and listen? Because see, you got to listen to God when he's talking to you. He ain't gonna, you can't keep people do not listen. We don't slow down. And that's the one thing I appreciate about meditation. That's why I have to venture out and find my own way. Meditation is good for that. No, I ain't sitting up there and all, but my meditation is sitting quiet. Sometimes I have to fight the voices in my head that's talking to me all the time. When I say the voices in my head, my own mind. You know how we all talk to ourselves and we think about stuff and all these thoughts and negative good. But if you just sometimes just sit down and even some of those are messages coming into you, and just do this. No distractions. No phone. None of your partner. no TV, no praying, no saying what you want, no reading the Bible, no reading a book. Just being like this. Because see, that's how I found out what my purpose was. I actually sat down and asked God what my purpose was. And no, I didn't hear him physically. I didn't hear a voice, but I heard myself. It came as soon as I asked. It came right in my head. Your purpose is to give love and compassion. It was my voice, but I knew it was God because I actually listened. You know, it's funny. And ever since I've did that, since that day, I've listened. Like I can hear God more and more. Like as years go by and time go by, I hear Him so much. Not only do I hear Him, I see Him. I feel Him. I feel Him in my body. I feel Him in my spirit. I feel Him in my soul. The hair on my skin, I can feel Him. My stomach go to cramping. My stomach go to hurting. I get nauseous. Whatever the thing may be. An animal cross the road. An animal come by. Anything. I see God in so many ways, but most people don't see all that because you don't stop and pay attention. Because once God noticed that you pay attention, and let me say this another thing. It don't have. I know people. Everybody in God because like I said, I've been all over. When it come down to researching what I want to believe, like what I think is my reality and what I think is out there, right? So I've seen it all. I've looked into witchcraft. I'm gonna be honest. I've looked into hoodoo, voodoo, whatever you want to call it. I've looked at what atheists believe. I look at, which is not much. I mean, like Buddhist, of course, religion when it come down, But I believe I'm into spirituality. But I believe that we all actually are serving or believe in the same God. You can call him what you want, because a lot of times I call him God, I call him the creator, I call him the source, I call him the all. But it's still, for me, it's all the same person. And to me, God is love, right? So God is love. That's just it. He's love. I mean, some people, God is the devil. Like I say, you don't have to necessarily go into just saying you religious, you believe in, you Baptist or you Catholic or whatever, but we all got, if you believe in something other than yourself or even the God in you still got to sit there and listen to that person too. If you're gonna believe in the God in you, because I know a lot of times in spirituality we like, oh, we the gods, okay, but do you sit down and listen to yourself by being quiet? And we're gonna go back to religion and churches. You can't just go to church and then sing and pray and read the Bible and listen to the sermon. Sometimes you got to sit down and spend 5 or 10 minutes, 15 to yourself and listen to God. Like God is trying to tell her something and she ain't listening. It happens with a lot of people, because even me, I learned a long time ago, listen. And ever since I learned how to listen and let God, people be saying that, but you don't do it. Listen and let source, let the creator. Because once you do that, you'll see how every little thing in your life is the way it's supposed to be. Like every single thing. I see and think about how my husband got locked up. He went away. And when he was going to go away, at the same time he was going to go away, we was living in Okeechobee. I never thought I was going to ever move away from Okeechobee. Had no desire to maybe move away from Okeechobee, but move back home. I never thought I was going to move back home. Not to this little country town I'm from. Little one red light. I said, no, I ain't gonna ever move back there. Didn't he have no desire to move back? My husband got locked up. At the same time, like he was finna go away. Probably about a month before that, my mom and dad both was like, come home, Tanya. We sick. We need some help. They both like got sick at the same time. Was about to go on disability. And they're like, come on, we can use your help here. And I was like, well, why not? I like never thought I was gonna do that. Never had a desire. And I moved back home. And in those times, I moved back home with my parents. And imagine that, I'm like 30. Moved back home with my parents. My husband's gone. We ain't got no kids. Moved back with parents, and it was a blessing because I got to spend time with my dad. And I was a daddy's girl, so I had to move out when I was like 18, 19. So here it is, I'm in my 30s. I got to spend some adult time with my dad and get to know him a little bit more, spend more time with him. Yes, my mom was there. She still was kind of in her own mind, and she was still in her own sickness. So we still couldn't have that bond that we have now. But my dad, we was able to bond, like we was able to bond all over again as adults, not just kids. And I got to know him, and I got to see him, and it was so good. I remember one day he came in that room, and came to me one day, and was like, "Baby, you just like your dad, ain't you?" And I'm like, "What you talking about, Daddy?" He talking about what you talking about? He like, "You just like me." I'm like, "What you mean?" He talking about you need attention, don't you? I done came home morning, so you need attention. And I was like, "Okay, Daddy," you know. I can remember one time he was sitting out there. He's sitting out there on his back porch in a rocking chair. I go out there, and he was boo-hoo crying. I mean, he crying. I'm like, "Dad, what's wrong?" But you can tell it was joy. He just would never say. And y'all, let me tell y'all, a year later, my daddy passed away, 57. If my husband would not have went away, my mom went and got sick and asked me to come home, because if they would have never said that, I would have never went. I would stay right where I was doing what I was doing, because that's what I did before. But that gave me a chance to spend time with my daddy before he died, which led to my husband coming home, us being up here, because I stayed. He in such a better place up here. He has so many more opportunities up here. He's grown as a person, as a man up here. He would have never had these opportunities back home. It was meant for us to come up here. Even me. Even me. I grew as a person coming up here. Like, sometimes we got to learn to let God lead us, and understand too that nothing is a mistake in your life, good or bad. It's supposed to be the way it is. And if you really stop and pay attention and listen, look, feel, you will see God working in your life. You'll learn them lessons, and you'll understand what He's trying to say to you. We all so busy, especially in the world today with technology, when we want to be on there scrolling and TikToking and going through YouTube shorts and going through YouTube and listening to our music while we're in the car. I stopped doing that a while back. When I'm in my car, a lot of times, I'm listening to music on my own. I mean, listen to nothing, just ride. And it's funny, I remember back when I first started this journey, when I like I say, started my awakening, if you want to call it. And I was like going through this with my husband, telling him what's going on. I knew I was feeling different, but he seemed like he was the same. And I was like, "Don't you want more? Don't you understand that this going on? Don't you understand?" And I was so frustrated. I didn't think we was gonna make it, because we was definitely going two different ways. This years ago. We was definitely going two different ways, and you know what? I had to let that go. Like, just because I'm changing and I'm doing this, don't mean he got to be. And I let it go. And guess what? He with me now. He just had to do it on his time. He had to do it on his time. He like me. Like he like, "Man, I was riding today, and I just started crying because I started thinking about things." And he done got so deep, and I love it. He think about things. He sees God. He sees God working in his life, and not by. And they don't have it's small little miracles, y'all. Small little things, just small, teeny little things. And it's crazy. I was seeing say we don't listen to God. Just tell you how God works. Taking my baby. Just thought about this morning. Had this conversation with my sister. Taking my baby to daycare this morning. They had the road blocked off, so we waiting. It was about 15 minutes, and she was about to go crazy. Let me tell you, this 10-year-old child, and has zero patience. She knows that that's one thing she has no patience. And we always talk to her about it. So now you gotta have patience. You gotta have patience. She don't finish nothing because she just don't. It takes too long to get it done, so she don't finish nothing. Don't finish a book. Don't finish. She's like doing hair. Don't finish a hairdo. Won't finish combing her own hair because it was too much. It takes too long. She has no patience. So we ride on like, tonight you gotta have patience. I don't want to have patience. Why I gotta have patience? I say, all right now. I say, you gotta realize sometimes God allows stuff like this to happen to teach you. I said, teach you that you need to have patience. I say, and if you don't pay attention now, He gonna keep doing stuff in your life to show you, to teach you that you gonna have patience, because He gonna allow things come in your life. They're gonna make you recognize you need to have more patience. Just that fact. Look how that came, and I was able to incorporate that lesson into my niece, because a lot of times with how I am now, it's hard for me to be able to teach her some of the things I know or how I feel, because I don't want to feel like I'm preaching down or teaching. She don't care about all that. So I wait till little nuggets like that come where I can teach her something. But just that quick. Listen to God. He trying to teach you something. You say how you running, you going crazy. He gonna keep this happening to you because I was fine, because you don't have no patience. So He gonna keep throwing stuff up on you to show you, all right now, have patience. Already she hearing this from me already, and she 10. Because God gonna keep putting it back in front of you. The same thing until you figure it out. And I'm gonna show you how else good God is. Drop her off. Going to pick up this cup for my husband for his birthday. That my friend ordered. My girl ordered it for his birthday. I'm riding. I'm like, I ain't never been to this. It's in Archer. I'm like, I ain't never been to this part of Archer. Wow. Like, look how I'm, me going to pick up this cup because she done showed me a part of Archer I ain't never seen. Archer ain't number this big. Driving. Never seen it. Pull up. It's a little farm stand out there. Ladies got lip balm and jams and bread and little cakes and handmade soap and homemade eggs and pancake mix, like a whole little stand at the farm stand. It was cute as it can be. And I'm on the phone now talking to my girl because I'm like, I'm trying to figure out where I'm gonna put, where's the cups. So she told me. I picked up the cups and I was like, can you get in contact with this lady, because I want to be able to buy some of this stuff up here. She got eggs. It was crazy. I was in the kitchen cleaning yesterday, used the last egg, and I'm like, I gotta make sure I get some eggs. Stand. The lady got eggs out of fresh eggs. Do you see what I'm talking about? She say, the lady said she's at work, but she has a cash box up there. You can put the money in the cash box, or she has a Cash App or Zelle or something you can use. But it's crazy. She has all these things up here. She had the prices, and she uses the honor system. Like, it makes me love her even more. Like, lady, you do all this here, and you trust people to do you right. I mean, it makes me. I'm going back to that lady to get that lady eggs and anything else she got. Like, I love when God works just like that. And it's funny because when I went back up there to that stand, it was a lady up there pulled up the same time I did, and I was like, I was trying to figure out how to pay. She said, yeah, you put it here. And I said, I love this. It's beautiful. This is nice. I like this. And I said, and what's even crazy is she used the honor system. I love that. And they like, I do too. And I felt her. Like, I love when God works like that. Like, if you sit back and watch, you will see how God works in your life. And when he notices it, and I'm gonna tell you, it don't have to just be God. It's whatever you want to believe. It can be angels, it can be your ancestors, it can be your past loved ones. They all be on you. They all be on you, trying to tell you stuff, show you stuff, guide you. But you don't take the time to sit down and listen. We gotta not just always pray and ask and sing and read the Bible and or be aggressive or be angry, or I don't know, always talking. You got to be open to receive. So part of receiving is shutting down, being quiet, listening, opening up your eyes. But I mean your eyes, because once you see God, once you see the Creator, once you see the magic around you, you can't stop seeing it. Like, I see it so much. And it's funny. I try to. I a lot of keep that in my head, because I know some people don't understand. They're like, Tony, you crazy. But no, y'all, I'm serious. When I see it so much. I don't know if it's. I want to say I'm clairvoyant, or I just know things or see things or whatever. And I think we all honestly have that gift. We just don't listen and pay attention. We don't pay attention. We all have it. But mine is so open to where I can see and feel and know. That's why I knew that job, when I was going to it, went for me. I knew before I went to that job that I didn't want to go to that job, that full-time job. I remember telling my husband, I feel like I'm getting sentenced to prison. I feel like I was about to go do a bid. That's exactly the words I said to him. And then I started, and I had the worst stomach pain. Every time I would go, my stomach would hurt so bad. But God was like, okay, Tony, now I'm finna physically show you that you shouldn't be doing this. That's not for you no more. Like, I knew before, but I was trying to do what I thought was the thing to do. Listen to God. Be quiet. Because he gonna keep allowing, or he gonna show you, or your ancestors, they gonna do things to show you. You guys, spirit, gonna do things to show you. And they're gonna keep on until you finally get it. You can learn the easy way, you can learn the hard way. But a part of that is shutting down and getting quiet. Stop asking. Stop singing. Stop listening to music all the time, or listen in your car. And don't get me wrong, he talks through music too. This morning, woke up with a song. I told you, there you go, in my head with Johnny Gill. Told my girl about it. She don't even know who he is, probably. But she was like, okay, baby. Going to to the store this morning. Husband, good morning, baby. Good, hey, baby. What time? He said, oh, I had a bad night's sleep. I said, okay. He wasn't feeling well with his stomach. I'm like, all right. I said, I woke up with this song in my head. I sent him the YouTube video of the song. And he was like, Tanya, this is crazy. He said, I was up this morning and I was watching Ruba Stutter perform this song on YouTube. The same exact song I woke up singing in my head. It woke me up. I was singing. It was in my head. He was listening to another person perform that song when he woke up this morning. And we in 2 different cities. 2 or 3 hours away. Sometimes you got to pay attention, y'all. We missing so many clues, so many signs, so many synchronicities or symbols. And we missing so many nuggets. So many things we missing because we don't pay attention. Pay attention. God talking to you. Source talking to you. Your spirit's talking to you. Your angels talking to you. Your loved ones talking to you. Your ancestors talking to you. But you got to listen. That's all I got. Love you.